are listening to SportsOvertime.com. Your blood, our sweat, your tears. No, that's not it. You are listening to SportsOvertime.com, where the clock doesn't matter.
The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual hosts, their guests, and callers do not necessarily reflect those of SportsOvertime.com, the Miami Media School, or its affiliates and sponsors.
You're listening to Off the Deep End, where we discuss conspiracies, the people who love them, aliens, and a little spirituality. I'm your host, Emmy, and welcome to our show. Welcome to Off the Deep End. It is Friday, fun day. Aren't you glad it's Friday? You get to rest and relax and whatever else you want to do. It's a beautiful day, as always, as most days in Miami. It's nice and sunny. I can't complain, especially since I'm interviewing Mr. Harris Momodu, who took the time to speak with us today about what he's up to. A little bit about him. Harris is from Africa. He's currently living in Ireland. He is a healer, channeler, musician. He has a website called Infinite Possibilities, where it looks like he runs a Matrix Academy. And I think I'm quoting this right, where it's his focus to empower people to learn languages, showcase talents, works or services, and connect with people who need them. That is very honorable. He was highly recommended by a friend of mine, Bianca Macias, who I've also interviewed on the show before, and we are happy to have him on our show. Welcome, Harris.
Hey, thank you very much for having me on the show. I'm pretty honored to be here. And I just want to say that's a very, very good friend of mine's website you just mentioned. Yeah, she has me there. I have a page there. And those intentions are hers and ours, really. But I have my main website is www.harrismomodu, harrismomodu.wix.com at Evolution From Within. I will post that up there, and it's the same thing about evolution, awakening, and helping people to see their light really within their own evolutionary path.
That's great, Harris. And can you give us a little more background on yourself? I mean, I understand you came from Africa, African royalty, and and then you moved from Africa, where you've been living in Europe for about 16 years. Can you expand a little bit more? Yes,
thank you very much. My DNA lineage from Africa, West Africa, Nigeria. Yes, it is a royal lineage from Oba Momodu around the Edo area near Benin City there. Came to Europe, came to Ireland, landed in Ireland, was in other countries, and then settled in Ireland, where I kind of discovered a lot of myself, and still discovering myself. I'm still in Ireland, but that's where everything started for me. I think around 2009, 2010.
Oh, that's amazing. And what was it specifically about Ireland that helped you, I guess, evolve and expand?
I would say now I know more, but then I didn't know that much. Mm-hmm. And I always wanted to leave Ireland, like, oh, it's too boring for me. But it was awakening some other parts of me because it was quiet and peaceful. And I was able to find myself in creativity and, continue with that. I do a lot of music, writings and stuff like that. Yeah. And Ireland, I just continue to stay in Ireland because of that peace, and it just grew in me. I had a sister here that I came to see and decided I would spend some time with her. And Ireland just took me like that. It was meant to be 6 months, and I'm still here 16 years. It's such a peaceful country, and the land. Now I walk with the planet. Everyone's connected to Gaia, but I walk a lot with Gaia and Ireland. The part of Gaia that is Ireland is really, really. I'm connected to that, not only in this lifetime, in other lifetimes as well. So my energy is well here. This I know now. But then it was just, other things got me here, and it started to work out. It kind of worked out for me.
Oh, okay. One thing I wanted to ask you, and I think you've already kind of brushed on it, but what was it that got you interested in some of the works that you do now?
All right. I would say finding, we are all going through this journey ourselves. Like everybody are those that we can put quote unquote that are awakening and those that are not or whatnot. Everyone's going through this evolutionary spiritual path, even though most do not know it. I was doing the same thing in my life, let's say 3D life, or everything that I plan to achieve, and that was not going so well at some point. And then I fell ill, within everything. That was like the transformational point for me, where I actually fell on the ground because I was doing my 3D 9 to 5 walk, and I was chasing my passion, music. I was doing interviews, and I was also going to get some other degrees. So there was a lot of things I was doing. I wasn't really paying attention to me because I really wanted to achieve those things. And so I broke down and was in the hospital a couple of months, and things started changing from then. I started realizing everything I was chasing was really, really just too much to chase in that way, that I had to really come back to my own life and see that, the way things are working, maybe there are other ways. And I've always felt that there were other ways. We always feel these things innately, but we don't get the support of, what's happening in the world to allow us to look at those things. And me growing up from Africa, it was almost like the opposite of those things. We do have few of them. We have the belief system of the words. The words mean a lot, a vibration and positivity. But it only dawned on me when I was sick and when I was coming back. I said, what, I have to drop all these things. And then before I know it, I started getting so light in me that I started attracting things that will help me out in the journey. I started, I think that's when the book, I wouldn't say it started from a secret, but all those things added on in 2010. I was watching Ancient Aliens. I was connecting spirituality from Africa and the scientific proofs that we were getting as humanity, because I am more of a science head as well. I love those things. And so I was able to combine all those beliefs, and I was able to kind of put two and two, knowing that this is something that I cannot wait to see before I start believing. I have to really start having my own faith and my own belief, and then that's when it all started. And then I started attracting things and books that would lead me to that audience, and start knowing that, wow, a lot of people have had this for years. I didn't, I saw articles from 1970s, and I'm like, wow, where was I? How come I didn't come across this? And so from there, it took from there, started going in within myself, and then meditations started, and then starting to connect, starting to believe in things that you wouldn't necessarily believe in, and you open up, and then something, you get an internal proof. And then before you know it, I was doing things that I considered were woohoo, that I would actually laugh at people do. When I have a story of one of my sister's boyfriend, an Irish dude, years ago, he was like doing his hand somehow and saying, hey, I talk to trees, and I'm vegetarian, and I heal with my hands. And I was laughing at him, like, what are you doing? Okay, whatever, And then I realized, before you know it, I was doing that, and just naturally, and I understood what was happening. And, I've had dreams, I've had astral projections, I had connected myself. These were just internal things. I wouldn't speak with other people, but I would relate with other people that were like me online, and we would talk about these things. And I realized naturally I just became that. And then I realized that, it's an evolution of humanity, and we are all going to play this part whenever we're ready, or whenever we wake up to it. So, and before that, thousands and thousands of people, I started seeing a lot of people like that. And, now the community for me is grown, even though it's been there for years. And humanity is starting to wake up really to this other aspect of them, this self of them that has been there all the time. More and more people are starting to ask these questions. More and more people are starting to see the alternative healing as something that could help, So wonderful times we're in.
Or even being open to all of this. I mean, you could probably say even like 10 years ago, the majority of people who are interested in even Reiki healing or the possibility of aliens, didn't exist in the numbers that it does today.
Yes, definitely. And I was just yesterday, I was in a place, and it was like a movie set type of thing. So you got all sort of people there and stuff like that. So someone was talking to me, and they just started talking, and before you know it, we led to conversations like that, and the person is like, what, I've been looking for someone to talk to. Like, even when I tell people, they just say you're crazy or woo-hoo. And so he was so happy that, the first time in his life he would speak to someone, and I would respond the same way. I would even tell him my own experience, and it was like, so I could see the light in his eyes, and I just remembered myself like years ago, when I had that, and I saw somebody else with the same beliefs, and that was a wonderful thing. And I was telling him that we're becoming more and more people are waking up to this, so he can just look out for that. Now he's met me. Before you know it, the synchronicity will take him to somebody else like me, like himself, and because that's the way I expanded. That's the way we expand, anyways.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty neat also when you meet others that are in the spiritual community. We'll just call it that for the sake of making it simple. But I think it's neat that every time you meet somebody who's either just speak on their path, or they are, I don't know, ensconced in it, that the language is all pretty similar. And there's not a whole lot of back and forth as far as, the details and the ideas and the framework of how spirituality should be, because we're having all of us, our own experience. But a lot of the a lot of what spirituality is, it's universal.
Definitely, very universal. We are all having our own individual experience, and what we meet at familiar spaces, So if you meet another being, another soul that is within the space that you are in, that you're playing in, you guys will recognize each other as you got something similar. So that's the way we all meet up and see our parts, because we have different parts and we're on different places on our different parts. But the way we meet and co-create is when our parts kind of join in. Yes. That's a wonderful thing.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And how would you say, because you did mention that you had some kind of, I guess, spiritual experience when you were in Africa, and brought up some, I guess, some high points about that. But what do you think is, like, I guess, some of the major differences between what you're experiencing now versus then?
I would say what I would have experienced in Africa would just be parts of what I would be experiencing now as far, let's say, heightened spirituality, because in most areas, in most cultures, they have things where they have a spiritual awakening within different cultures in the world. So even religion, it's just that when you put everything together and you kind of just stick with the truth of where everyone wants to move forward harmoniously, you would find some truths in all of them that would match what you believe in right now. So it's just in Africa, the belief of the afterworld is very strong. The belief of spirituality, that they're angels, they're other beings, they're these, and it's not necessarily religion. It's just in the culture they do believe in the star beings. They do believe in powers beyond, in magic beyond, and you name it, voodoo and stuff like that. So
were they Yoruban?
Sorry?
The part of Africa, and I didn't ask you what part of Africa you were from either, because the next question I was going to ask you was your royalty, your descendants as far as royalty goes. But I was wondering if the name, I guess they would call it spirituality, would be Yoruba or Yoruban.
Yoruba is a culture in Nigeria. It's a group of people, they will call one of the majorities in Nigeria. So Yoruba would have you have different states under the Yoruba people, and it's a very rich culture. They have all the spirituality that I'm talking about. They had all these gods, which would be star beings that came and helped out. They had demigods that ruled, and you would have this culture that would have been taken to places like to South America, to Cuba, Brazil. So a lot of them have all this culture under the slave trade. But Yoruba is just one part of Nigeria. The part of Nigeria that I'm from, I mentioned before, Edo State is now called, near the Benin Empire, Benin City. So the lineage that I'm from is called the Agbede Empire. So the Agbede Empire was in the times of the Benin Empire that was there as well. So now all those areas is just one state. When the English came, that's how we kind of organized it. We Nigerians, I would say. So it's called Edo State. So I'm from the Agbede Empire.
Okay.
So that's where I'm from in Nigeria. And spirituality, that's what I got there. I knew there were things beyond. We all knew that. There were things that we would have seen as kids. I actually saw someone walk through a wall, and I wasn't the only one. It was 3 of us until today.
That's awesome.
Whenever we meet up, like we're in high school, and whenever we meet up, we talk about it, and we keep saying, "Are you sure you saw that? Are you sure?" We kept that was then, but now I know, I understand, because I know what the guy was chanting then. He was chanting, and he was connecting to El Moria at that point in time. When we were kids, we even played with that name. Oh, he used to say Moria and stay crazy stuff. We used to call him a crazy dude, but now he was just a very highly evolved person. It was very brilliant. We used to go to him for maths questions, and we knew he was so intelligent, but we just thought he was crazy. So, and he walked through the wall. And now I believe that strongly, because I know that is possible. And my friends, if I talk to those same friends now, they still hold on to it. They know what they saw, but they wouldn't necessarily be like me and say, okay, yeah, I can call that he did do it. So things like that, and then looking at science and coming over here and seeing quantum physics and and watching programs like Ancient Aliens or information that are out there, they help you to connect that these things are truths, and at some point in time in history, humanity called these things truths. So we cannot be that arrogant to say we're the only ones here, and this is the only game that we're playing. So we're playing more games, and it's interesting for me and those that it is interesting for to actually go out there and find more people like them, and there's more to this that we're doing, the evolution of humanity and the evolution of the planet itself, and we're in a wonderful time that this is going to get out there. Well, more and more people, the kids will see this as fashion. Meditation is already becoming something that kids are looking up to, and are using for their own exams. So we're in wonderful times.
Yeah, I believe that we're definitely in wonderful times. I mean, I know there's a lot of kids that are grasping on to, some pretty interesting concepts that adults would consider abstract. Or, I have a niece who just likes to eat fruit, and that's it. She gets made fun of at school because she comes to school with, basically a lunchbox full of fruit. She does not like meat. It's really interesting. But yeah, we are evolving, and there's a lot of things even within our evolution that have been misconstrued. I mean, as of recently, at least, I know that what about the third week of December, which is the 21st of December of 2012. A lot of people looked at that as predictions for the end of the world. I guess the Mayans, based upon the Mayan calendar, but that was really the end of an old paradigm and the beginning of a new one.
Yes.
And that's why we have a lot of this awakening, since a lot of people who are awakening, it's that's about the time, about 2011, 2012, people just went into I guess the hyper mode or hyper learning as far as awakening wise. And now I guess we're in a special time, especially here in fall. I understand. Do you know about this, or did you want to talk about that a little bit more? Something about the rebirth of Gaia or something?
Yeah, but we've been having a lot of batches of awakening, and you're talking about October, November period where a lot of it's happening right now, so it's still gonna stretch on until because we're talking about the fourth dimensional energies that are kind of bombarding Gaia at the moment in a very wonderful way, because that's just lifting us to the space where we are going to. So there are more people to wake up, and we could look at it because there is polarity there. So there will be more of the polarity. So there'll be more, you could say, darkness, and there'll be more light at the same time, because the darkness actually wakes a lot of people up. Yeah. Just saying for myself, it's not like we're all praying, wanting darkness, but you cannot have the light without the darkness. So that's going to be heightened as well. So you can hear a lot of people getting shocked and getting the fear thing coming up, and people seeing what's going on in the world. And on the other side, you can see people that are focusing on just the positive side of that stick, and seeing how wonderful, how transformational the world is becoming, seeing how, and for one, looking at these, I look at everything from a neutral standpoint, because my energy is only wants to take that. That is the role I want to take, that unconditional love and neutral standpoint. And I could see both. I could meet people where they are really, really within that, negative spectrum, and, they get some light from me, whatever it is. And I understand what they're going through. And I know, it's on their path. So you do what you can do, and you continue to stay in your own position where you're just unconditionally loving and accepting everything that is happening. So everything can shift up into that neutral space. And you see people in the positive place where, they're really, really living that heaven on earth. And it's wonderful to know that, you can be in any of these places. It all boils down to your choice of how you feel every moment, and that's a big key here. And even myself, even because I consider myself, I took a role to kind of help humanity, because that's why I'm here. Humanity doesn't really need that much help, you can say, because everyone is a god or everyone is the sauce. But the game we're playing, even if you are the sauce, some people are playing to be a sauce that has forgotten that they are the sauce. So they're playing this.
I think a lot of people are playing that role.
Oh,
right
yes,
now.
a lot of people are playing that role. So the role that I'm playing is, I know I am the sauce and I am awake and I'm here, so I will enjoy here. And then that's something for some of them to actually see and say, you know what? I'm gonna do that too, or okay, you know what, I'm gonna do something else. So it's very important for people like ourselves that are talking about this and doing this to continue staying there. And we only teach by example, really. It's not like the preaching days or us coming into a doctrine or forming religion. I think we've evolved beyond that. So it's the way we are living is what's gonna make them say, hey, there's something else, and maybe pull people up into that neutral zone and that unconditional love zone.
Yeah, I think that's very important. But based upon what you just said, would you consider yourself a little bit of a way shower or a lot of way shower?
Yes, we are way showers. See, we want to say we're not few now because we're growing and there's more and more humanity coming into this, but like ourselves, definitely way showers. That's what we have. A lot of evolution happened within me because most of these things will happen within yourself. And from my own journey, I know what I have been through to get to be able to see from the perspective that I am seeing right now. And because of what I've been through, I see most of humanity also going through that, entering those space. They might have different paths, but there are spaces that you go into through evolution. And when they have that space, it makes it easy for myself and themselves to actually co-create, and me showing them how I went through that space, and then they making it easier for themselves to go through that space. So we are definitely way showers. Most of these things will come to us first. We will connect, and then when we kind of move on, and others we open up that door, others join in. And as others join in, they become way showers for the ones coming behind. And if you look at it,
so it's a domino effect.
It's a domino effect. And if you look at it, when I would talk about we all have guides, those who believe in spirit guides and angelic world, we all have that. And let's say beings, the alien beings that will come give us some knowledge, one or two whatnot blessings. They are doing the same thing. They are opening the doors right there, so they help us, we help those below. Then if we want to put it in a linear way, so it's like the whole existence helping itself, first of all humanity, and then you could take that into the world, the cosmic world. It's the same thing, and that goes all around to the whole of existence, and that's why it's eternal. We're all connected that way. So once you keep climbing the ladder of your own evolutionary path that you've set for yourself, you start to realize that everything, more and more you start to feel and know that everything that exists is you. Everything that exists is you, and really you really stay on top of everything when you have that. Really, and once you start finding ways to kind of always love yourself to that extent, you just see that love extending, and you're able to kind of put that love out there, because out there is also you. So there is it's a wonderful journey, and it's just beautiful when you're in that wonderful space of love.
Yeah, it is beautiful. What's funny, when you're discussing about how everything is you. I've done these exercises within myself. I'm like just looking around the room. I was like, okay, well, that chair is me, that plastic chair. with its legs is me, and then I'll look, that insect is me. just trying to make fun of it. I'm like, okay, that garbage can full of garbage is me.
It's quite funny though. You should do it on the street as well when everyone passing by and everything, and when you look at them and they do something, it's like, oh, okay, that's me though.
That's
okay,
me.
okay.
I'm not going to judge it. We're going to be neutral about this.
It even stops you from judging or whatnot, which is quite cool.
Yeah, that's the judgment. For a lot of people, that one's it's a tough one to get over, even when they're like, feel like they've got a good hold on the spirituality thing, and then, that judgment thing just kind of, I guess it bothers them that they're judgmental, but they feel like they're good people, but they feel bad because they're judging and they're not exactly trying to, kind of thing,
I will give, there was something I just, that got, did I learn or did I get it? Matt Kahn.
Oh yeah, I like Matt Kahn.
Wonderful, wonderful being. Yeah, that I will use that one because I had that one sitting, but he kind of just put that into wonderful perspective for those people, because I was, or I would be, or I can be, or whatnot. I know that that judgment energy, and to counter, not to counter, just to help that, to neutralize that, to let that become, if they can catch themselves judging, and if they can only just, as opposed to kind of being pissed off with them, like, oh, why am I judging again? If they can just go to the other spectrum of it and kind of just, what? I love that part of me that is judging. I don't judge that part of me that is judging. That part of me judge whatever, there's a reason, whatnot. I just love that part of me. And when you could show love to a part of yourself, that love just transfers to that judgment energy, and it's like you've forgiven yourself, and that judgment energy, it kind of gets recycled when you can shine your love on it. When and the next time you want to catch you want to judge, you actually catch yourself before you judge, and you do the same thing. You just love the part of you that was going to judge, and you the next time that will happen, it would just be a tiny thought, or like a fleet of boom, oh, gone, and it's gone. It can't even stay in that space anymore, because it's just, that space is full of this wonderful love. And so the judgment has to just be love, because the judgment just wants to be seen as well. See me as an emotion or as a feeling, and see me, love me, don't hate me. If you hate me, you continue using me, because that's the energy, that's what it is. So if you can diffuse that with love, that would help. That will help a lot, because you're right, that is a very big one. You just keep coming back to the same karmic energy, and in a cycle when you keep judging and you can't stop yourself, and now you're pissed off with yourself, and when will this ever end? It ends when you just put love on it, when you put that spotlight of love on it, because it comprises everything. That love comprises understanding, respect, acknowledgement, acceptance. If you just go straight to that love and you could feel it, and and that's for yourself. And it also, if you could do it for yourself, it's so easy, when that would just come out for other people, that would transpire. So that's one I learned, and a wonderful one to share.
Yeah, I really like that example you gave from Matt Kahn, and I like another one that he mentioned, like, what was it called, radical acceptance or something? Not just accepting, I guess, like things in your life, or just I guess your reactions to things. I think one thing he mentioned was like, to say it's okay versus like I accept. For example, let's say you had a thought about somebody that wasn't exactly positive, and then you got mad at yourself because you had that thought. And it's just like, how are you going to be mad at a reaction that you cannot control? You were not consciously like driving that reaction, so instead of like getting yourself mad at something that was just kind of a reflex, something that you couldn't control in that second, that moment, is to just kind of say, you know what, it's okay that I get mad in traffic because that person cut me off, which is, that's understandably legitimate reason to get upset, or it's okay, that I judged that woman for wearing like dress that's like 20 times smaller than her own size. It's okay. So what that does is it helps decompress you, but then it's also a good opportunity to look at that. It's not to say it's okay, I'm going to judge everybody all the time, and say it's okay and I'll get rid of it, but or it'll be definitely okay, but it also to just kind of look at that reaction and either see like, okay, why did I have that reaction? Just look into that more, or something like that.
Yeah, it's that's exactly it.
Or to think of how you would best, I guess, react or whatever in future situations, or just to kind of dig deeper.
Yeah, and there is a key there. There is a magic thing there that people might maybe just disregard because they don't really know. But really, it's very simple, because the awareness itself, that awareness, that changes energies.
Oh, yeah.
Just the beginning of you saying it's okay. Mm-hmm. That is an awareness into a new state of acceptance, a new state of perception, how you want to perceive this thing. So you're saying it's okay. So you're no longer perceiving it the way you would perceive it before, that it will make you pissed off. Now you're saying it's okay, which means we're fine, we're done with that. Now we can get into a new ground.
Yeah.
And that changes stuff, and that changes stuff. And you don't, I mean, you could go in and talk about it, find out why and all those things, but even if you don't do that, the next time that energy comes to you, it's really, really reduced.
Yeah.
So it's really strong when you could put a touchlight on something, you could put an awareness on it, and you could start the changes of how you would like to experience that thing next.
Yeah. That's a totally good insight. One other thing I wanted to discuss is while we were talking about, I guess, transforming perceptions, is that I guess we're in a time period right now, this is what I understand, that like men will be changing. Apparently Gaia and I want to say Gondolos, her twin flame, are just kind of, I guess, either reuniting, or he's just kind of like elevating himself into his even higher self, which is, I guess she's Chitaya and he's Gondanam. And I guess in that there's going to be some kind of, I guess, extra reawakening in men. There's like some story about how men kind of, I don't know if there was an agreement or something where men just decreased their like emotional body, their like more logical, I want to say like left brain versus right brain. And apparently with these new energies that are coming in and will continue, like men will, I guess, regain their emotional bodies again. I mean, I see this happening, but like even more so, like there's going to be kind of like a balance for both.
Yes, I was just getting some from Gaia, so she was just trying to support that. Yes, is how the feminine energy that has to come back to take the lead position now. So that's why all that changes will be done in men. And I think the energies are coming to help men get into this space. The male energy, or those that are male, mostly those that are male, they have this male energy, or the male energy is in dominance. And a lot of those that are female also have their male energy in dominance, and because the world is like that. That's how we kind of had the world, but now everything is changing.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is changing. So even the females have to rebalance their male energy and make sure that the female energy and their male energy is at par. It's like 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then because we used to have it where the female energy was the matriarch and would kind of lead, because the female energy is kind of like the external, what would I say, the creational energy, where the male energy is the one that kind of would think of whatever it is. I'm just talking about the energy, not a woman and man now. Just the energy. So then it made sense for us as a whole, united, to put the female energy first, to kind of lead, because that it takes care of stuff. It's got everything. It's got the whole creational materials there. So that was working for humanity then when we had this matriarch societies. So really we want to go back to that. That's why I think you have some in this time, some female president got in, and we're looking at that feminine energy, feminine power. Not to say feminine power should come and start enslaving the male power. No.
Yeah, exactly.
It's that the male power the male energy has been enslaving the feminine energy for a long time. So we're changing that and we're making it more balanced. And it's going to take a lot of male to kind of recognizing them, because their orientation is not to have any of that. I went through that from Africa. My orientation was don't even cry, hard in your heart, what are you toughen, speak from the chest, stuff like that. And as a male, you're the male, you're the head of the this.
You have like a lot of emotional blockages just by the role that you're supposed to play.
So it took me a huge transformation to actually get into my feminine space, to get into my heart, so I know that these in order for us to kind of successfully really get this evolution going, we need a lot of males doing that. And there's nothing to worry about, because when you look at the youths, when you look at the younger ones, when you look at the male, they have balanced energies. They kind of like have this feminine energy and male one. Everything is going in harmony. So that's helping the world as well. So it's not, we're not only depending on the older ones that are actually have set up their belief system so concrete that it would take them, that much pain to get there. At least we have the help of the younger generation that are pushing this up. And the more and more we speak about the feminine energy to be recognized, to be back on its balance, and these fourth dimensional energy and all this energy is coming from the cosmos. They're coming to help this. They're coming to help Gaia. So that's I think that's what I was getting from Gaia. It's the female energy that we want to talk about. That got to be on par, and that's what's happening now.
Now that we're talking about the female energies, and you mentioned like the U.S. presidents. I mean, in the world we have at least a handful of women leaders of countries. But in the U.S., it would be like the first woman president. Like just prior to that was the first, first African U.S. president. But, as far as the Americas, the second second president in the Americas, that was Black and Spanish, or African and Spanish, was Vicente Guerrero, and he was president of Mexico. Just FYI for all your listeners. That was the first quote unquote Black president of the Americas. And led a revolution against the Spanish, by the way. Vicente Guerrero, he's I really like his story, because what happened was he was planning the revolution against Mexico, and his mother's was like a quarter indigenous, and but both of her parents. She was a quarter indigenous, but both of her parents, she was a daughter of slaves, and which slavery was abolished, I guess, in Mexico before Vicente Guerrero's time, I want to say. Which was in the early 1800s. Anyways, so he, knowing indigenous languages, just got the indigenous peoples of Mexico on par, along with, other Mexicans to, I guess, plan a successful revolt against the Spaniards. So
Wonderful.
That's pretty cool.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So that's a little history, but that was not my point. Sorry. So we have the first. It will be the first U.S. president, female, who is running for presidency, and I want to say it looks like she may win. However, I mean, it's not to say though that she's going to be the best option. So, I mean, what do you say to I guess just people who are enamored with this idea of having the first woman, regardless of, what her acumen or her background is, whether it's a negative or positive?
I mean, for me, whoever gets there, it doesn't really matter. But it's a plus that there is, which is for people to just look at that feminine energy, and it doesn't matter which woman, which feminine gets there. It just allows people to open that space of recognizing, hey, we got a feminine energy, and that's a good thing. Just that. It doesn't mean she's necessarily better than anybody else she's running with, or anyone is, fit for the job, or there should be a job, or it can just be like we use it as a poster thing for the feminine energy. And that's a wonderful thing. At least
I guess that people would just vote for in a majority for a woman. That's what. Yeah.
Just the way people wanted they wanted a black president in America. It was like, oh, we're never going to have, we have that. Okay, so people were just voting because of that,
Yeah.
So
I really liked him. I mean, I like him still. But I don't.
G.
Sorry, go ahead.
I say Obama is my G. I still got his T-shirts and stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
But now that I understand, like, basically how things work, how the government works, it's just like, a lot of things that people are mad at the president about, I'm like, I'm not mad at.
They do the best they can. Most control within that world or that type of game in reality is not within their hands in that way. So
exactly,
they just do the best they can.
With their hands tied.
Exactly. The main core that we want, or that ideally for me, is for people to be looking into governing their own self, going their own self, finding out things for themselves. And then, not say the matrix, the 3D, 4D matrix is there for all of us, human collective. We want to bring that to a higher level. And the way we can bring that to a higher level is detaching, getting into our own matrix, our own universe that we're creating inside, and making that heaven. And then once we are rejoining the 3D, 4D matrix of humanity, we're bringing that heaven in there, and that is changing the whole collective. And this is what I do. This is my job. I would call it my job. It's my joy. I love it. So I get in there. I get in I call it my dungeon or my heaven or whatnot. I'm right there, and I'm connecting to that dimension, what dimension, and then I go out into 3D, 4D. I connect with people. I just listen to them. If it's just listening, if it's just smiling to someone, I could be in a set and there are 200 people. I'm just there and I'm just giving off this wonderful energy, I'm just there smiling, and I'm in my heaven while they're hustling and bustling. But that smile, because I smile, somebody else smiles, it lightens his weight. That's what we can do, because I create my own universe from within. I know the heaven that I got. I am the type of joy that I experience is immense. I can't put words to it. So when I'm in communities or I'm with people, I am that. I just feel that, and most people can feel that. A lot of people just come to me and they just got this smile and they don't know why, and they're just looking at me. I like you. I'm like, yeah, me too. I like you too. I'm like, okay, what next? I don't know.
Just go get coffee.
Yeah, I know it's the energy. I know it's every human can call to that signature. Every human loves that, and there's some humans that know what that is, and they don't want that. It's not on their path yet, and they could kind of even there. Some people that could say, "Oh, you a mother, whatever," and then they get away from it because they're not ready. They don't want that. I don't look at it. I don't have a personal ego that will go down. Oh, now I have to combat them. No, I wouldn't drop the whole energy to that level, because I know I'm actually doing this for the planet and myself. I like to be in heaven, so why not extend this heaven to wherever I play? So that's what I would like people to focus on. But it's okay to look at the government, to look at that, how the human collective is evolving as a whole. That's nice as well. But the real work can only be done from within.
Yeah, that's true. I totally believe in just identifying yourself as what you are. You are an autonomous infinite being, capable of anything. The trouble is, like, when you are like still in 3D and your government is like affecting legislation that like affects aspects of your life. I'm like a big I like supplements and herbs and things like that, and the government or the DA just banned a very medicinal plant that was free and available and legal for everybody to use, that is not addictive and helps with pain and all kinds of things, fibromyalgia, depression, and gets people off of opiate medications and addictive substances. So they banned that just recently. I'm just like, wow. Now you upset me.
Those would definitely tick places, and that's the thing. You would always find this place and where the government, things that when you are connected to the matrix of everything that is happening, like you said, you got your government just banned something, and that would affect you in your own current reality.
Yeah.
And this is the same for many people. That's why many people go out in that way and, go say, what do we do? Do we combat this, or how do we do this? But the only way that can kind of, you can move from there is it's a shift, really. Because you say it affects you when you say it does. And because you are playing in that and you could see it affecting you, know. But there's always, anything that happens is always a stick. There is always it could be a negative effect. There's always that positive effect there as well. It's always there. And there's something that I've learned to do. I've learned to just jump straight to that positive effect, whether I can see it or not. I would just feel it that, that's it. And even if I hear something like that, what I want to see myself doing is celebrating. Yeah. Because I'm celebrating the positive effect of it. Whether I see it or not, I know it's there. And it's going to come out because I'm celebrating it. And I can then move on. I can then shift to what I really want, what I want my own reality to be. Like I say, I create my own universe, and I say, okay, I want these. I hear about all these things that happen in the world, in Africa. I hear terrible stuff that people will say terrible. I can even see. But for me, I see that as a blessing that I'm seeing, because now I'm knowing what I don't want in my universe. And then I will go to what I want, and I would enjoy and celebrating what I want. Which would be the opposite of that. So this for someone like myself, this is how I would see it. This is when I get the news. That's what I would do. I would just get to the opposite and bless the opposite and bless everything that is there that I've heard. Everyone going through that, everyone it's going to affect. Bless them. That hope that they should elevate them. That they should see the shift. They should see the other perspective that I'm going to be feeling as well. So that's what I would say. Because really, you can do the protest, you could do the physical walk. I mean, if you're in a place to make changes physically, please go for it, definitely. But if you're just going to aggravate or only just going to be in that same energy, you're not really resolving that energy. You may be making that energy more, and it's kind of like a play some more for me, But if you can kind of, okay, I accept that that affect me. First of all, it could affect, oh my God, look at that. Wow, how am I gonna? Okay, chill out. That's what I'm hooked to right now. You know what? I want to be hooked to something else. I know this is a fact, this is true, but I want to shift into a different truth that I like, that I resonate better with. And you will. It will happen. You know.
That's really great. I like that perspective. I was actually trying a little bit of that myself, of like, well, I guess it's good because, ultimately, we shouldn't really need anything. So perhaps I'll just try like to learn energy healing and just like heal people with energy, and so that they won't have to worry about using anything to make themselves feel better or whatever to help their back pain.
I like that. I mean, we can say so simply, and we know for a lot of people it's not that easy to kind of, move there. But that is the human evolution. We gotta have some. When you say way show us, that's what it is. We gotta have some people to have some. I don't know if I can say that word on the radio, to kind of to have the guts to kind of go on and say, I'm going to smile and I'm going to love whatever comes. I'm going to love this. I know most people are not going to love this because, wow, if I'm in their shoes, this is disaster. This is that. This is this. All the negative words I could call it. But no, I want to start setting the precedents. I am a way show. I want to set the precedents, and I'm going to love this because I know what that can create. I know how that can affect the future of me loving the fact that this happened. I know it can transform this to what we really want.
I really like that. That was a really amazing perspective. And we only have like 5 more minutes, but I do want to know like a little bit more about your path. One quick question is like, at what point did you decide to take on that role as a way shower? I know there's a lot of people who consider themselves lifestyle coaches or spiritual teachers. Do you feel comfortable putting a title on yourself? Could you expand a little bit more?
I've been called any title, and I say, yeah, why not? Whichever anyone can call me a monkey, I'll say, yeah, how high? I'll jump on a tree. If it's in my joy and stuff like that. Yeah. So I don't mind I've been called a life coach, a counselor, a spiritual teacher, a spiritual healer, a quantum healer. There are many names, so it's all the same thing. I don't mind at all. I just see myself as I see myself as a guide. I work a lot with the angels, so I kind of see myself as an angelic guide on earth. I know that's what I'm doing for myself, and I have a lot of trillions of angels that kind of help me out on that, with that, and other guys as well. So when I'm connecting with someone, I am connecting with their guides. And I'm connecting with their higher self, and really I'm bouncing off from their higher self. So I'm kind of, and that's what I want to be for them when I'm standing in front of them. I'm being like I'm a mirror for them. So this is, so you could call me anything within that. I don't mind at all. Right. And I can call myself anything as well. I really don't mind. But what so would definitely way shower is a good one. I like that.
Yeah. I want to talk a little bit more about your music as well. Can you just tell me more about like what your style is? I watched like a video and I thought it was really, it just made me happy. It was just like bright and positive.
Wonderful. That's the point. Yay. I got to report back to my people who collect report. I'm nearly not there. Yeah, my music is wonderful. It's my sister and myself were called Stone in Jezreel. We have this genre I'm calling rhythm and soul. I rap, she sings, sometimes I sing, and we've been there since 2005 or 2006, and we're doing pretty cool. The lyrics, everything is still about this, about awakening. I have songs in the past that are not really about, they're really just rap and stuff like that, but I was always about energy even when I started. a little bit darker when I started in 2001.
Yeah.
But when I evolved in that way, most of our music is about inspiration. You finding that inspiration in you. So we have songs that are like "Fly, You Can Fly," you know, "You're Gonna Be Okay," you know, songs like "Stand," you know, whatever it is, just stand and find yourself. And so our songs are like that. Choices, Imagine, Days Passing Over. We have meanings in our songs that will help people, and if not just the words, the instrumental, people can just get into that vibe, and you got this happy thing going on, or something solely that will move you. So I do my walk in my music a lot as well, and we're doing at the moment we did the biggest concert event in Ireland called Electric Picnic, and we released a single called Stand. That's online. If you want to look for us, you could go Stone and Jezreel, STONEANDJZREEL. You could Google that. We have our YouTube channel. We're on Reverb Nation. We're on Facebook, and you can find where to buy that, or you can listen to our songs or watch our videos. So that's me with music. Music was one of the wonderful things I got when I came to Ireland. I don't think if I did not come to Ireland, I would discover music in that way. I always loved music, but to start writing it had to be a quiet place. Ireland was the perfect place for me. So.
Well, I definitely
that's
have
about
to
music.
visit sometime.
Yeah.
Well, Harris, it's such a pleasure and an honor to interview you today. Thank you so much for spending time with us.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here.
Can you please once again tell our listeners where to find you?
Yes, my website is www.harrismomodu. I'll spell that out: HARRISMOMODU.wix .com/evolution from within. One word: evolution from within. That's my website, and you can also find me on Facebook, Harris Momodu. You could always message me there. And also, if you want to connect to me through my music, Stone and Jezreel, I'm always here. I'm always available. I do my best to create my own time. As we know, there is no time. So a lot of the times I'm in no time zone.
Yeah.
But I have to put in time to co-create, and to co-create and meet up and do stuff. So I'm always there. You can find me. I'm very busy, and I'm not busy at all. I play all the time, and it's almost like I work all the time, but it's all fun.
Yeah,
all right,
I think that's something that a lot of us should try as well.
yeah, it's wonderful. But
make your work your play.
Yeah, just keep playing, keep being in bliss. But it's funny how I will get to some meetings and I wouldn't even know I'm getting there, but I kind of know something. Then I have this alarm clock inside. Hey, you got a meeting? I'm like, oh, and then I get there and they're like, everyone has like computers and everything, and I got nothing, and I'm just looking at them, And then when they ask me questions, I got everything. It's like, how do you know this stuff? I'm like, I don't know. So that's the no time zone, it's not like you're leaving anything. You actually, you don't need memory. Memory will be created in the moment when it's needed. So if more and more people can practice that will be wonderful.
Yeah, definitely. I'll try to practice that myself. Thank you, Harris, once again for being with us off the deep end on sportsovertime.com. And to our listeners, thank you for listening. We are going to sign off for today, and we'll see you next Tuesday.